Popular YouTuber Vitaly Zdorovetskiy has found himself at the center of a massive scandal, and it's still unclear when he'll get out of it. His pranks led him to where he is today, a prison cell in Asia. But how did he end up there? Vitaly is an American YouTuber of Russian origin. He started more than 10 years ago, back when his first videos were simple pranks. In this video, he's telling his own mother in Russian that he was a drug addict. Not long after, he really went viral with a video where he gave a homeless man the best day of his life. Clothes, food, dental care, even Nutella. That moment gave Vitaly his first taste of real fame. After that, his channel, VitalyzdTv, really took off with a new format, pranks. He pretended to be a hitman, scared people dressed as a zombie, and pushed pranks to the extreme. Some of the videos were clearly staged, but that didn't matter. They were pulling in tens of millions of views. Vitaly quickly became one of the most popular prank YouTubers of his time, but his popularity was inconsistent. It depended on how extreme the next prank was. Once you taste that kind of attention, it's hard to stop. Vitaly became addicted to viral fame, and he could not get off that needle. After gaining popularity in the US, he wanted more. He wanted global attention, at any cost. During the 2014 World Cup final in Brazil, he ran onto the field shirtless and even tried to kiss a player. The police immediately tackled him, but the stunt worked. People around the world started subscribing to him. Vitaly kept pushing the limits. 2 years later, he climbed the famous Hollywood sign in Los Angeles and was arrested again. But it only gets worse from here. Next, he climbed one of the Egyptian pyramids, the only surviving wonder of the ancient world. Egyptian police caught him, and he even spent a few days in an Egyptian prison. Not a single lesson was learned. Fast fame had become the main goal of his career and his life. He didn't stop there. He ran into a field shirtless again, this time during a major baseball game. Later, Vitaly launched a new format where he exposed people who preyed on children by shaming them on camera. Various celebrities like Akon took part in these videos. This concept, by the way, originated in Russia, and its creator was killed in prison. These videos didn't bring as much personal attention to Vitaly as the old ones did, but the thrill of fast fame from extreme illegal stunts kept pulling him back in. Recently he went to Asia, specifically the Philippines, to cause pure chaos. He was harassing people, jumping on cars, threatening locals, even stealing a fan and a tricycle. Anything to get people talking about him again. Later, Vitaly was arrested at his hotel and declared an unwanted foreigner. He tried to post bail, but Philippine authorities denied it. In the spring, he was detained. By summer, he was moved to prison. Philippine prisons are notorious for their harsh conditions, and after spending over 9 months there, Vitaly is now awaiting deportation to Russia. Recently, a video of him in the court appeared online, and he doesn't look good. His endless thirst for fame, no matter the cost, landed him in a prison on the other side of the world. In this video, we show examples of how fame can kill you, sometimes literally. XXXTentacion, perhaps the most tragic story as of now. Jesse Onfroy, better known as XXXTentacion, was born in 1998. He lived only 20 years, but left behind a massive legacy, and also became one of the most controversial rappers in history. He grew up in Florida and started making music after being released from a juvenile detention center. X wasn't playing a role, he was genuinely troubled. He rose to fame as one of the leading rappers of the SoundCloud era, and his breakout happened 10 years ago with the release of the track Look At Me. Look at me. Yeah, hey. Recorded at home on a cheap microphone, this track sounded raw, but later, that sound became his signature. Over the next 3 years, he released 2 albums. Both went platinum and topped the charts. X's life was troubled from an early age. He once attacked a man with a knife. At 14, he was arrested for possessing a weapon. At 16, he robbed someone at gunpoint. Even being in jail, he had conflicts, and was known for treating his ex-girlfriend with extreme abuse. If he was still alive today, he would have ended up in prison for the rest of his life, and that might have been the best outcome for him. But alongside his albums came hits like Look At Me, Moonlight, and Sad, which made him the most popular rapper of his time, and brought enormous wealth. But with fame and money, he forgot the harsh world he grew up in, a world where people would rob you for $20. Just 2 years prior, he had done the same himself. He flaunted expensive cars, cash, and luxury without hiding it. Then one day, outside a motorcycle shop, a group of robbers fatally shot him and stole a bag containing $50,000 in cash. Later at the hospital, the doctors would confirm his death. X had risen risen to fame and wealth, but the world he came from had not changed. He never got the chance to realize it. The robbers eventually turned each other in during the trial and received life sentences. Meanwhile, X became a symbol for a generation, leaving behind iconic works. But in his case, fame led to the most tragic ending imaginable. Lindsey Lohan's story isn't a typical cautionary tale about fame. It can actually serve as motivation, showing that second chances are possible. She started her career as a model at just 3 years old. She didn't choose this life, it was chosen for her. By the 1990s, she was already famous. After a number of ads, TV shows, movies, Disney deals and millions of dollars, she became the most recognized child in the world. In the 2000s, she starred in major films, but constant pressure, attention, the loss of a normal childhood, and other side effects of fame at a young age began to take their toll. Having achieved worldwide fame and adoration, the turning point for her came in 2007. She got into a car accident, drove under the influence, and news broke about her alcohol and drug problems. She entered rehab and lost roles in films and advertising, and yet earlier that same year, she had been named the world's sexiest woman. Her image demanded she remain the sweet girl everyone adored, but Lohan wasn't that girl anymore. She was partying, doing drugs, and earning tons of cash. Her mental health was on decline and destined to cave under this pressure. People and the media who had once loved her started celebrating her downfall. They talked about her arrests, her struggles, and her addiction. She was effectively cancelled at the highest level and ended up in cheap, unsuccessful projects like the critically panned film Liz and Dick, which destroyed both the movie and her performance, essentially turning her into an outcast. So she left LA and disappeared from the media for years. She escaped from Hollywood that had become her personal hell on earth. But you know what's the surprising part? Lindsey got a second chance. She overcame her addictions, didn't deny or erase her past, and years later returned to the industry. And a few years ago, she even starred in a Netflix Christmas comedy. Having experienced massive fame as a child, which led her to addiction and rehab, she could have never returned, but she did. By 2025, according to New York Magazine, she was listed among the most influential people in culture and the arts. Unlike Macaulay Culkin or Britney Spears, whose fame destroyed them, Lindsey Lohan got her second chance and she took it. Well, this story doesn't have a happy ending. It's a story of an artist who created an entirely new genre, lived life to the fullest, but tragically died in the midst of a tour. Lil Peep, born Gustav R., was a pioneer who combined emo rock and trap, opening the doors for emo rap. Not only he discovered a new popular genre, but also brought emo culture back to a generation of young listeners. His story is different from XXXTentacion's story. He didn't come from a troubled home and never lived in a hood. His parents are Harvard graduates. He recorded his tracks in his own room. He was always polite, moved to California to record music and create mixtapes. But there was one major issue. He suffered from depression, a real depression. His talent was quickly recognized by both listeners and producers. Just like XXXTentacion, he started out on SoundCloud, then briefly worked in a group, and soon launched a solo career. His songs were filled with depression and apathy. His formula for success was simple: honesty, talent, and pain. The result? His music became an anthem for struggling youth, most of whom hadn't experienced real depression like Gustav. Lil Peep became a true phenomenon. His videos racked up hundreds of millions of views, and in 2017, every teenager was automatically assumed to be one of his fans. That was a very, very busy year for Gustav. He released his first and only album while alive, and set off on a world tour. But fame, money, and recognition did nothing to ease his depression and anxiety. If anything, the enormous popularity consumed him. He lost control over the pills he took to cope, and his already high doses only got higher. His tour, starting in September in the UK and planned to end in November in the US, was abruptly cut short. Gustav died from an overdose. This was an inevitable tragedy for an entire generation of young people, but a very revealing one. Gustav struggled with mental health issues, and his success only made them worse. What we can learn from these stories is that fame can have a dramatic impact on a person's life. Some manage to handle it, some can recover after falling from grace, but for others, fame leads to addiction, imprisonment, or even death. Fame isn't a blessing. It's a test that can inspire or break you, and you'll never know your limits until fame finds you. Subscribe for more.
Not matter what your dream is or what your goal is, you make sure that it is your prime priority to follow what you believe is good for you.